Good morning guys. I welcome you on my channel SKD Maths Tube. So today I have to explain your function, so called the modulus function. Okay, so before the moving ahead, here I will explain what is the modulus of a number. So see here, modulus of a number gives you a absolute value. Okay, and this absolute value is every time non-negative. So what is the absolute value? Absolute value gives us distance from 0 without considering direction. This means, see here, it's a number line I have drawn here. So it's a 0 to 2. Here the total distance is what? 2 unit, and you know very well this is, of course, it's a 0 to minus 2, but the distance, if I am asking to you what is the distance, you will speak it's a 2 unit, but it's a distance from what? 0 to minus 2, and distance every time will be in positive form. So this modulus of a number give us what? Magnitude of a number, and the magnitude of a number, the sign of the magnitude will be every time positive but never negative. So this is the concept behind the modulus function, and now I'm going to students, I'm going to explain the modulus function. Okay, I have already explained the modulus number. Modulus numbers means absolute, which gives you the absolute value. So it's a topic is what I have to explain here, the modulus function. So I'm going to take a perfect and fixed function. It's a y is equal fx is equal modulus of x. You will represent these are the sign of the modulus term. Okay, and it's a modulus function. Here this function is defined, this is in this way you can write, this function is defined over f such that real number tends to real number. Okay, so now students, you can accept this definition for the modulus function. Here you can write this function here, y is equal f of x is equal what? It's a x. You know very well, when the values are already the positive, they are the x is greater than or equal 0, you will get the same value. Like I'm going to give you example. Let I'm taking here, let x are 1, let x is 1. Okay, so what is the value of the function? So y is what? Y is, and this 1 is already greater than or equal 0. Okay, so y is equal f of 1. Actually I have to put 1 at the place of x, so this will give you what? And now see here, it's a modulus of 1, so this will give you same value. Okay, this will give you the same value, like x is already, if I am taking a greater than or equal 0, so you can compare from here. And every time students, what is the work of the modulus function? That modulus term, this modulus term give you the, means change the negative value in terms of the positive, means it will every time give you the positive values. Okay, so it is a x. And now if you are taking x is less than 0, suppose I'm taking here, let again I'm taking x is equal minus 1. X is equal what I am taking? X is equal minus 1. So what is the value of y? Y is f of minus 1. This will give you what? Minus 1. And what is the work? Listen here, the work of this minus 1, this will convert the positive value. And when it will be positive? When you will multiply this number by minus 1. So that will give you what? Positive value. Similarly, means now you can see here, now I am managing here the breaking here this function in two terms, like a minus x. It's x when it will be x when x is greater than or equal 0, it will be, you will get the same value when x is equal 1, but x is less than 1. When suppose that x is less than means what? Now listen students, you can compare from here to here. If let again I am taking x is equal minus 1. Okay, so y is what? F of minus 1 I am taking, no issue. So this will give you, this is the example for the minus x. Here it will be positive, this function will be positive, fx will be positive. Okay, fx will be positive when x is less than 0, and it will be minus x. You will write in this way. So this is the, in this way you will break this function, okay, in two terms. Any issue? So now I am going to take, actually I have to draw here the graph of this function. So I have to make the table for with the blocks. Okay, so see, again I need to take the more points. Okay, so now let us again I am going to take here x is equal what, -2 x. Now you can directly find out when x is equal -2, so this means x is less than 0, so y is equal f of -2. Okay, so what is the value of f of -2? So this will give you, again minus sign, you have to apply here the minus sign, and minus sign means it will give you what, it will here at first write here the -2. Okay, modulus of -2, and then convert it in this way. It will be, you will apply here the minus, because x is -2 and x is what, less than 0. -2 is already less than 0, so it will give you minus sign here, and this x we have to put, what is the x, x is -2, so minus multiply with the -2, this will give you +2. Okay students, any issue? Now students, take more points. Now I will directly going to take, and now x is equal, suppose I am taking +2, so this will give you y is what, y is f of 2, and f of 2 means modulus of 2, and modulus of 2 is every time +2. Now take more point, and when x is equal 0, I am going to take the x is equal 0. So what is the value of y? Y is will be, so y is what, mod f of 0. Actually every time we have to put here at this place x, we are whatever we are taking x is equal right now 0, so f of 0 will be what, that will be modulus of 0, and modulus of 0 is already 0. Any issue students? Of course you have no issue. So now I am going to make here the graph of this function. See here the graph, very easy, it's very easy. It's your vertical line and it is your horizontal line. I am taking here the +1, it's a +1, it's a positive direction, actually it is a positive direction of x-axis, it's a origin ox, and it is negative direction of x-axis, -1, -2. Actually I have taken point up to -2, okay, and +2, it's a +1 and +2. It's a positive direction of y-axis. Okay, and this line is also represent the value of the function. This will every time give you what, y is equal fx, this line. Okay, so now student, next is what, negative direction. Actually we also have to take -1 and -2. So students, first is what we are taking, when x is 1, so what is the value of y? Y is also 1. So what is our first point? We have to locate here the point, so it will give you what, 1, 1, and I am going to represent it by the capital P. I will represent it by the capital P. Is it clear? And what are the coordinates? It's a 1, 1. Next I am going to take the next is what, x is when -1, so what is the value of y? Y is +1. When x is -1, the value of y is what, we have to locate here this point. It will give you what are the coordinates. Suppose this is point P dash and the coordinate are -1, 1. Okay, and now next is what, when x is equal -2, then y is also +2, means x is equal -2. What is the value of y? Y is here, we will locate here. What are the coordinates? It's a -2, +2. Okay, and I am representing it by the q dash. And the next is what, when x is equal to, so y is also 2, x is equal to, this here is positive direction of x-axis, it's a +2, and negative and positive direction of y-axis, it is also +2. So now this is the point. Okay, and what are the coordinates? It is, suppose the point I have taken q, and the coordinate are 2, 2. Okay, so students, and 0, 0, this is already the origin. Okay, 0, 0 are the coordinate of the origin. Okay, so now listen student, join these points. In this way you will get a graph of this function. What is the graph? It is symmetric about y-axis. This graph is symmetric about y-axis. And now if someone want to ask you what is the slope, slope is what is the slope of this function? It will be y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1. So this will give you every time 1. Okay, because 2 minus 1, y2 minus y1 means 2 minus 1 upon 2 minus 1. So 1 upon 1 is already 1. And what is for here? Here slope will be, what will be the slope? Slope will be -1. Okay, Any issue? So this is the finally the graph. And now students, the most important, domain and range. So see here, where is the space? Where is the space? Actually, let me check my camera is working or not. Yes, no issue with the camera. Now I can write domain and range at this place. So domain is what? What is the domain? Domain of this function. Listen students, if you are making the block, here, you can see from the block, it is block, and here are some values of x, and after that we will put the values of y. Listen students, one thing, when x is I am taking 1, so what is the value of y? Y is also 1. When I am taking x is equal -1, so y is what? Y is also 1. When I am taking x is equal 0, so y is what? It's a 0. When I am taking x is equal -2, y is what? It's a positive 2. Means if you are taking again x is equal 2, so y is also 2. Okay, I have already plotted these points, but I have forgotten to make the table, but now I have made it. So finally, what are the domain? Domains are what? What is the domain of this function? What is the domain? Domain is what? Set of values of x. This is the set of values of x, and it will be from -infinite to infinite. I have taken only 1, -1, 0, -2, 2. You can take -infinite to infinite, all the terms. Okay, so you will get the what? You will get a defined value. For y. Okay, so because of this, the set of values of x are what? -infinite to infinite. So the domain is what? Set of values of x for which the function is defined. So this is what? It's a real number. And now I am going to take to ask about what is the range. Range is very important. Range is what? What is the range of this function? Here students, you can see here negative numbers cannot be involved. Here in this function, the values of y means this graph from 0 to y. You will get a 0 to infinite all the values, but not negative value. Actually this function y is equal fx. Here these values represent what? The range. According to the definition of the range in terms of the functions, for set of values of x, the function is defined, so the set of fx give you the range of the function. So this is what? It's a 0. You will get the 0, of course you will get, and 0 to infinite you will get all the numbers. 0 to infinite, and infinite should be in open interval, or you can write it r plus. You can write here the positive real numbers. You will get a positive real number. And finally, so this is the domain of the function, and range is what? Domain is real number, and range are what? Positive real numbers. Only 0 to infinite, where 0 will be in closed interval. Actually we are getting 0 here. So the value whatever is confirmed, so we will apply it closed interval, and after that infinite is not a value. So because of this, it's I am applying here the open interval. Okay, so finally, and after that, the domain and range, I will give you some examples for the modulus function. I'm going to rough this portion. It is clear to you? Any issue? If you are feeling any issue with the question, you can just comment on the comment box. Okay, so now I'm going to give you another example. Students, suppose that I'm going to take here I'm taking a function, let y is equal, main portion is that how will you break the modulus function. Suppose it's a y is equal fx is equal modulus of x plus 1. Now how will you break it? Now students, see here fx is what? Fx is equal, you know very well, it's a x plus 1. It's a x plus 1. When x plus 1 is greater than or equal 0, it's an inequation. You can simplify this inequation. It will be x is greater than or equal -1, or you can write it x is greater than or equal -1. The value is positive x plus 1. Okay, and when x plus 1 is less than or equal 0, less than 0. Okay, so what is the value of x? X will be, after solving the inequation, you can write or x is less than -1. Here the function in terms of the minus x plus 1. In this way you will break. Okay, any issue? And students, it's your work. You have to find out the domain and range of the function, and also it's your work. You have to plot the points and make the graph. Okay, it's your work. And if you are feeling any issue with this function, you can just comment on the box. I will make the graph and also find it out the domain and range. Okay, and thanks for the watching, and please subscribe my channel. Okay, thank you students, and take care during COVID-19. Bye bye. Oh, you are not watching. You can see here. Actually, I will explain again here. Actually, because of this issue, board issue. Here, when x is already plus 1, so by is already 1. X is equal minus 1, by is 1. X is 0, so by is 0. According to this, I have already make here the graph of this function. Thank you students. Okay, so just enjoy. X is what? When x is equal 1, so by is 1. So here I have plotted x is equal 1, so by is also 1. This is a point, and this point minus 1 comma 1, where is minus 1 comma 1? Here, this is a point P dash. This will give you the coordinate minus 1 comma 1. Next is 0 comma 0. This is the coordinate of the origin, and next is what? Minus 2 comma 2. Minus 2 is what? It's a minus 2 comma 2. This is a point Q dash. This point represent the coordinate minus 2 comma 2 and 2 comma 2, and here is Q. This point represent Q, and join these points. After that, you are getting this graph of this function. Okay, and it is symmetric about, this graph is symmetric about y-axis. Slope is, in this way you will find out the slope by using the formula by 2 minus by 1 upon x2 minus x1. It will be plus 1. For this, it's a minus 1. Okay, so thank you, and it is very important for your topic, class 12th topic, mean value theorem, Rolle's theorem, continuity. After matrix, you have to study what? Which topic? Continuity, where you have to break this function, this modulus function in this way. It's very important, where you have to prove left hand limit should be equal right hand limit. Okay, and after that you will study the modulus function in the integration and differentiation, application of integration and differentiation. Okay students, thank you. Okay, enjoy.